Hi, my name is Sarah from Real Fitness Coaching, and I'm starting a new video series that is devoted entirely to how to make habits, specifically around exercise and nutrition and well-being. I'm a personal trainer, and that's what I do as my full-time job, and I love my work. I love interacting with my clients and getting to be part of their journey and listening to and understanding what their challenges are and being someone in their toolbox to help them work through those challenges and be successful. I remember learning that it would be helpful to, in terms of making new habits, to start small. And I have a feeling this is when I did, let's see if I can figure out when this was, but it's when I was in Colorado and I was doing a like wellness and lifestyle continuing education course. Had a huge manual, and it was, like how to help your clients with this, kind of healthier lifestyle. That was kind of the focus of the course. And so in this course, I remember coming up against, this concept of breaking, goals and things down into bite-sized pieces for your clients to be able to feel successful. And what I remember from that period is practicing this and being met with huge amounts of resistance. Like I would say to a client, like, hey, like, how can we make this easy? Instead of doing an hour, could we set the goal to do 10 minutes? And the resistance that I got was, well, that's not enough. Surely I need to do more. And I just didn't really know how to have the conversation with them. Like, I didn't learn that in the book. It didn't say what to do if you're met with resistance. And and I kind of remembered agreeing with my clients, like, yeah, you're right. Like, it doesn't sound like enough, right? Like, if it were me, I'd probably feel like I should slash would want to do more. And yet, these clients weren't doing the harder objective, right? It wasn't getting done. I kept thinking to myself, like, well, you're not doing it, so why don't we just try it this way? Right? Like, so I was having this kind of background conversation with myself of like, I learned this thing. It sounds interesting. I'd like to try it. I am trying it, and I'm being faced with resistance. So I do think that's where the seed was planted because I do know that for years, probably the last handful of years, and maybe those of you that are clients can chime in and share when you remember me starting to talk about this. But and also there have been a lot of books written about habits. But I was using this before that, before like Atomic Habits came out and some other books on habits. So anyway, let's just fast forward to now and why I'm here. And why I'm here is that I feel very passionate about teaching more about how to effectively create new habits towards your goals. And it's something that I love talking with my clients about in their sessions, and it's something I want to talk about even more and have this discussion in this forum, making videos for you. And I'd love to hear your feedback and your questions and your thoughts and what you resonate with and what you don't. You can tell me in your session, you can send me an email, you can respond on YouTube. I can't say that I'm really fast on responding on YouTube, but I'll do my best. So the thing that I feel passionate about around making habits, particularly around exercise and nutrition, is that I think all of us know what the recommendations are for exercise. We should be doing this many hours of this intensity of exercise every week for health. We should be eating this many whole grains and limiting saturated fats and limiting sugars and eating this many vegetables and fruits and right, the recommendations are there, but are we doing those things? And I'd have to say that I had a feeling of panic come over me when I was recently recertifying with another organization for my job. And I was reading through the recommendations for exercise, and I was feeling myself sweat a little bit as I was reading, thinking, oh, I'm feeling really bad about myself because I'm not doing what they're recommending. Like, even I'm not doing that much. And I just thought, oh my gosh, like this feels so yucky. Like, I don't like feeling this way. I don't like feeling like I'm doing a bad job. And it was like, on the one hand, it was a little scary. And then on the other hand, it was like a little motivating, but not really, if I'm being honest. Like, it just was kind of more demoralizing. And that struck a nerve for me because I thought, if I'm feeling that way and I am exercising consistently, like, how does everybody else feel about these recommendations for exercise, um, and looking at themselves in the mirror, knowing they're not getting that, and how does that make them feel? How do you feel? And as much as I think the recommendations and the organizations that set those forth have all of the best intentions, and I'm sure there's lots of reasons for the use of how those get written, and I'm not even going to go into that, but let's just say that I think there are good intentions there. I really do believe that. Yet I feel like the way that it might land with us humans, as I experienced quite poorly, I feel like it's my job to help anyone that wants it to bridge the gap between where they are and what these recommendations are for the amounts of exercise that is healthy for human beings. So that's my purpose, my passion here in speaking with you, is I want to help bridge that gap because I think that those organizations are doing a little bit of a disservice to us humans by telling us this huge, big, vast goal of what we ought to be doing. And then we hear it and we go, oh, well, don't I feel like crap? I'm not doing that. Like, I'm so far from that. How would I even start? Even people that have personal trainers, I'm sure they feel that way. So that's why I'm here. That's why we're here together. Thank you for watching. And the only other thing I wanted to say in this introduction video, because that's what I intend this to be, just an introduction video to what I'm going to be bringing you in the future in more videos, is that I bought a book on habits years ago. Here's the book, Tiny Habits, B.J. Fogg. This book sat on my bookshelf for years. I got excited about reading about habits, and I looked at the book and I saw all the details and the prints and the charts and the this and the that, and I was like, oh, this is not a read before you go to bed kind of book, is it? And what I want to say is that there's so much density in this book. I think it's an amazing resource. And what I want to share with you is that I'm on page 90 out of 300-ish pages. I've been reading this book for months. I'm really not that slow of a reader. However, I want to share with you my goal around reading this book is to help you, my clients, help educate me, help me be better, help me read through all his scenarios and examples, and help me have something to have a conversation with my clients about around creating habits. And so I've decided to read this book in a tiny way. You recall the book is called Tiny Habits. My goal is to read 5 minutes on every work day. That's it. I tried doing it on my days off on the weekend. I was incredibly resistant. I was like, no, I don't want to read about it. I just don't. No, I don't want to. And And even the 5 minutes is hard. I gotta say, like, there are times I know it's on my calendar, I know I need to do it, and I look at it and I'm like, I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't want to. And then I think, Sarah, get your phone, set the timer for 5 minutes, and begin. And I do. I don't know how long I've been talking, but my intention was to be talking for about 4 to 7 minutes on this intro video. So I think I better wrap it up since I don't know how long it's been. And I want to thank you for tuning in and watching and joining the introduction to habits. And I'm excited of what's going to come. I will begin this series by sharing things in my life and habits that I am working to create. I'm going to talk through some of the principles using my own personal examples. I'm going to ask my clients if I can use some of their examples, and always I will make sure to ask for permission. I won't share any personal details on here. So if you're one of my clients watching, just know that and trust that. And I find it really helpful to, like, I think it's great for me to share my own experience, for you guys to hear that I'm human like you are, and I struggle with very, very similar things that you may struggle with. And and yeah, I also think it's helpful when you all share with me, ask me questions, give me some things that you're thinking about in relation to habits, because I'd love to speak about that here. Because I think the more we can have a bigger conversation together, the more it helps all of us. Because to me, it's stories. It's stories, it's examples, it's humanizing this kind of material that's in this book, which BJ, by the way, does a really great job of. He gives so many stories. And so if you're interested in this book, please, by all means, get it. If you're interested in the book and you don't want to read it, then I will teach you what I can about it here. That's my goal. And so if you don't want to go through the nitty gritty of this 300-page book on habits with a lot of detail, you can just tune in here and listen. So thanks again for joining in, and I look forward to seeing you next time.